Okay, this is part 2 of the shifter cart build. We're going to start out with the shifter and shift linkage. I got some stainless steel tubing for my shifter, some rod for my shift linkage, and then I've cut off the old shifter from the dirt bike, the little piece with the splines on it, and that's what we're going to use for the bracket coming off of the engine. Okay, kind of hard to see here, but this is the piece I cut off from the shifter. So that's going to be going on to these splines here. So it'll be back farther, so it won't be hitting the chain. And then I'm going to come down, over, and up with some flat bar, and then I'll have a pin or drill a hole so I can bolt a heim joint up here, and then I'll have a rod that runs down to my other shifter. Okay, we got it all welded together here. Bolt goes through there, keeps it on. I just fused the back of this bolt together. I'm just gonna throw some paint on this, and then we'll go put it on the engine and see if it's gonna work. Okay, we got our shifter made for the engine. Now I gotta build the shifter. It's gonna be stainless tube. It's gonna come up and out, and then I'm gonna have a little shift knob here, and then a piece of flat bar on the bottom is gonna come out, so it'll move like this, and then I'll have my rod that comes back, and it's gonna go right back to this shifter on the engine. Okay, I bent this piece of stainless, so I need to cut this to length here first, but I made this little stainless adapter in the lathe. That's basically going to get welded onto the end of this, and then I got this little aluminum knob, and that'll thread onto here, and then I can make kind of whatever knob I want. It can be stainless or aluminum. I was just going to make a shift knob that's welded on here, but I figured it'd be better to have something that threads on. Okay, we got our hinges done. That's basically all it is. So this, and we'll get welded to the shifter and this end of the other tab. They can spin. This one, same thing, except I threaded the bottom so I can put this nut on there. So when it all goes together, I can put this nut on and the shifter can't come out because these are both going to be sliding down into it. So they could move up and down, but this will make sure that doesn't happen. Okay, that is the shifter done. Got all the linkage hooked up here. Get everything tight. I just had to do one little bend in the rod there. It seemed to fit great. Same thing back here. Just run straight down. Another hind joint there. Seems super tight and smooth. I think it's gonna work awesome. Nice and short, which is what we want. Now that we got the shifter done, I'm going to start working on the clutch. I did end up ordering a clutch lever, so I'm going to bolt that on. It just goes right here, basically behind the steering wheel. You get the adjustment for how far down this lever goes, and then your clutch cable goes into here. It slides up through these holes, and then there's a set screw, and you can pin your cable. But I'm going to get that mounted on. I can see where it's comfortable, and I can flip this either way. There's also a spacer here. I can move this in and out. I'm just gonna get on there and see what's most comfortable, and then we can start working on the cable after this is mounted. Okay, clutch lever is mounted now. It's in the right position. It's nice and comfortable. Now I gotta run my clutch cable. I just picked up this universal cable. It's not the right one really, but this end I think will work in here. And then I'm gonna have to modify the clutch to fit in this end. I'm gonna have to make a little piece that'll thread in here. It's kind of gonna be like one of these, but just a little bit bigger. So I can clamp it on either side and the cable can run through. And then I'm gonna have to make a little cylinder thing I can weld onto the end of this cable. So same thing, it can slide down into this. Taking a look at this, the end of this clutch cable. I got like this pull tab on here, so I'll have to cut this off and still weld on a piece that'll fit into this clutch lever. But I think this will work, this part. It does have a nut on the other end. I just gotta drill this hole bigger so that these threads can fit through. But I think this will actually work. So I'm gonna do that and leave this, and then I'll just make the piece that works with this lever. Okay, I got my clutch cable mounted. It works pretty well. I had to move this clutch lever pivot up a little bit more because the cable is hitting this bolt, but it's good now. I just ran the cable down around and along that rail and then right to the clutch. As you can see, it works pretty well, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna work on throttle cable now. Okay, we got our throttle cable all done. And some of this plastic tubing here. It's real stiff, but you heat it up and it kind of molds wherever you have it. So I got some of these little clamp things here too. So I just use these engine case bolts and clamp them in so that slides in there and keeps it in place. It just runs down the frame here with a little adjuster and then wraps around the throttle pedal. Nice and smooth. It's gonna work well. I just got to do my fuel lines now and put all electronics back on, and at some point I want to wrap this pipe with exhaust wrap because I did sit in the cart and it was closer than I'd like, so I'm gonna do that too. But I'm gonna get those things done and then we're gonna see if we can fire this up. Okay, fuel lines are done. I'm just gonna dump some fuel in the tank here and then we can kick it over. Hopefully we get some fuel. I might try and push some fuel from here into the pump. I don't know if it might help get it started or something, but I might try that if nothing's happening when we try and kick it over. Okay, I did get it going, so I ended up tapping a port into the intake here and then running that hose down to the fuel pump. So it started, then stopped. I kept kicking it over and started pouring fuel at the carb. So it was pumping too much fuel in the carb, so then I went and got a fuel shut-off valve, and so I can restrict the flow. So that's pretty much all the way closed, and that seems to be just right. Starts, stops, doesn't seem to shut off. It's not flooding. Runs great. You can see it's pretty smoky, but I'm going to show you. I think it runs pretty good, and it sounds pretty good too. I think this muffler makes it sound like a big bike. So I'm gonna put a little air in the tire and see if I can move around in the garage. That's the shifter cart done. We got everything done on it now. The only thing I haven't done is wrap the exhaust, and I'm not too worried about that right now because I can't really drive it because there's snow everywhere. So maybe in the spring we'll get to that. But I'm gonna do a driving video on it once the snow clears up on the road. Something we can just test it out because I haven't even been able to shift gears in it yet. But other than that, everything's buttoned up. Everything seems to work great, so I'd say it's done. If you liked the video, subscribe, comment, like. I'm gonna have some more cool videos out of me doing interesting builds, so stay tuned and make sure you watch them. Thanks.